If you're struggling to sleep after 60, beware of silent strokes creeping in. Most people fear heart attacks or sudden strokes in the middle of the day, the ones that strike out of nowhere while walking, talking, or even laughing. But there's something even more terrifying, something far more silent and far more common in people over 60. It doesn't hit like a thunderbolt, it doesn't collapse your body, it doesn't make the headlines. It creeps in quietly, leaves no scars on the outside, and sometimes you won't even know it happened until it's too late. That's a silent stroke. And the most chilling part, you might be getting closer to one every single night without even realizing it, just because of a problem you've learned to live with. Poor sleep. If you're over 60 and struggling to fall asleep, waking up exhausted or tossing and turning through the night, don't chalk it up to aging. Don't normalize it. Your brain doesn't see it as just sleep problems. It sees it as stress, oxygen loss, and damage. Because every night you can't sleep is a night your brain is under attack. Blood pressure stays high. Inflammation creeps into your arteries. The brain's healing systems fail to turn on. And deep inside, tiny vessels, especially in the memory and balance centers, start to break down. You might still be walking, talking, and thinking clearly today. But if your sleep is broken, your brain might already be deteriorating. And silent strokes might not be a question of if, but when. 1. Waking up with a pounding heart or anxiety at night. Have you ever jolted awake in the middle of the night, heart racing, gasping for air, feeling like you were running a marathon in your sleep? This isn't just stress or bad dreams. For people over 60, it's often a signal of elevated nighttime blood pressure, something doctors rarely measure, but which has been directly linked to a much higher risk of silent strokes. When your heart pounds at night, your blood vessels are being pushed to their limits. The fragile arteries in your brain, especially the small capillaries responsible for memory and balance, can't withstand these surges for long. Over time, they begin to stiffen, leak, or rupture microscopically. You might not feel a thing the next morning, but your brain does. It starts forgetting more, reacting slower, losing clarity. If you're experiencing these episodes more than once a week, it's time to act. Not by popping sleeping pills, but by getting your nighttime blood pressure checked, reducing late-night salt and caffeine intake, and creating a consistent sleep schedule that calms your nervous system before bed. 2. Poor sleep quality that leaves you tired during the day. Many older adults say, "I sleep 7 hours but still feel exhausted." The truth? It's not about the quantity, it's the quality. Shallow sleep doesn't allow the brain to clean itself. It doesn't clear out the toxic proteins that contribute to memory loss, or allow arteries to relax and repair. Studies have shown that people over 60 with poor sleep quality have more white matter lesions in their brains, tiny areas of damage that appear after silent strokes. These lesions don't hurt, but they change how you think, move, and remember. They are linked to future falls, dementia, and full-blown strokes. You may think you're functioning just fine now, but if you're nodding off during the day or struggling to concentrate, your brain may already be warning you, and it's not too late. Improving your sleep environment, reducing noise, lowering room temperature, blocking light, and following a calming bedtime routine can help your brain enter the deep stages of sleep it desperately needs. 3. Frequently waking up to urinate at night. Urge nocturia. Getting up once to use the bathroom is normal, but 2, 3 or more times every night? That's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Nocturia disrupts your deep sleep cycles. Every time you wake up, your blood pressure spikes. And if you already have high blood pressure or diabetes, the damage multiplies. These repeated surges in the night put tremendous stress on the tiny vessels in your brain. It's like bending a wire back and forth. It might not break today, but over time, the damage becomes irreversible. Researchers have found that older adults with frequent nocturia have significantly higher rates of silent brain infarcts, areas of dead brain tissue that go completely unnoticed, until one day you suddenly forget how to button your shirt, or lose your balance in the shower. Addressing nocturia isn't just about cutting back on fluids. It means managing blood sugar, checking for sleep apnea, treating prostate or bladder issues, and most importantly, taking it seriously, not as just getting old. 4. Restless legs, cramps, or discomfort that keep you awake. Tingling, crawling sensations in your legs. Sudden jerks or cramps that wake you up. These aren't just annoying, they're signs that your nervous system and circulation are out of sync. Restless legs and nighttime cramps have been linked to lower oxygen levels in the brain during sleep. When your legs can't rest, neither can your brain. It stays partially alert, never dipping into the deep, restorative stages that flush toxins and repair vessel walls. Over time, this leads to something called silent hypoxia, a state where your brain gets just enough oxygen to function, but not enough to thrive. It weakens the walls of your arteries and leaves your brain vulnerable to damage during even minor blood pressure fluctuations. Treatment starts with recognizing the pattern. Magnesium and iron deficiencies can play a role. So can nerve damage from diabetes or spinal issues. A proper sleep study can uncover hidden causes. But ignoring it, that's when the silent damage starts accumulating. 5. Long-term use of sleep medication without improvement. Sleeping pills, they seem like a simple solution, but for many over 60, they become a trap. You take one pill, then two, then stronger ones, and yet you still don't feel rested. That's because most sleep medications don't promote deep sleep. They sedate you but don't allow your brain to repair itself. And worse, long-term use of sedatives has been linked to a higher risk of dementia, falls, and, you guessed it, silent strokes. These drugs dull your brain's natural alarm systems. You might not wake up when your oxygen drops. You might not toss or turn when your brain is in distress. On the outside, you're asleep. But inside, your brain could be suffocating, inflamed, and silently deteriorating. If you've been using sleep aids for weeks or months without real improvement, it's time to reassess. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, light therapy, melatonin regulation, and proper sleep hygiene can be far more effective long-term and actually protect your brain. The brain doesn't shout when it's hurt. It whispers. It forgets a word here, slips a name there, makes you a little more tired, a little more off balance, until one day it fails, suddenly and silently. A stroke without a warning, a life changed overnight. But that future isn't fixed. Every night of good sleep is a night of repair, of cleansing, of protection. Every improvement you make, no matter how small, gives your brain a fighting chance. So if you're over 60 and sleep has become a nightly struggle, don't wait. Don't settle. Your brain is calling for help. Not with screams, but with symptoms. Listen closely, act early, and give yourself the peace of mind and health that true sleep can offer. Because silent strokes don't wait, and neither should you.